Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, as we embark on this journey together, I want you to understand that everything you seek, everything you desire, and everything you wish to become already exists within you. The world you see around you is nothing but a reflection of your inner state, a mirror of your consciousness, and it is through the deliberate, consistent focus on yourself that you can shape this inner world and, consequently, your outer reality. Now, when I speak of focusing on yourself, I do not mean this in the egotistical sense that the world often promotes. No, I speak of a deeper, more profound focus, a focus on your true self, your divine nature, your I am. For you see, you are not merely a physical being having a spiritual experience, but a spiritual being having a human experience. And it is in recognizing and embracing this truth that you begin to tap into the infinite power that resides within you. Every day, as you wake from your slumber, you have a choice. You can choose to be swept away by the currents of the world, allowing external circumstances to dictate your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Or you can choose to focus on yourself, to turn inward and connect with the God within you. For make no mistake, my dear friends, you are God in human form, expressing itself as you. This focus on self is not a selfish act, but the most selfless thing you can do. For as you elevate your consciousness, as you align yourself with your divine nature, you elevate the entire world. You become a beacon of light, illuminating the path for others to follow. But how? You may ask, does one focus on oneself every day? It begins with awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. For these are the building blocks of your reality. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold is shaping your world in this very moment. And it is through becoming aware of these inner movements that you can begin to consciously direct them. Imagine, if you will, that your mind is a garden. Every thought is a seed planted in this garden. Some thoughts are beautiful flowers, others are noxious weeds. By focusing on yourself every day, you become the master gardener of your mind. You carefully select which seeds to plant, which thoughts to nurture, and which beliefs to water with your attention. This, my dear friends, is the essence of what I teach. The law of assumption states that if you assume a state, if you live from it as if it were already true, it must manifest in your outer world. But to do this effectively, you must focus on yourself every day. You must cultivate the inner state that corresponds to your desired reality. Let us delve deeper into this concept. When you focus on yourself, you are essentially focusing on your I am. I am is the name of God, and it is also your name. When you say I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. This is why it is crucial to be mindful of what follows I am in your thoughts and speech. If you constantly tell yourself, I am tired, I am broke, I'm unlucky, you are creating that reality. But when you focus on yourself every day, when you connect with your true nature, you can begin to consciously choose empowering I am statements. I am abundant, I am loved, I'm successful. These are not mere affirmations, but declarations of your true state of being. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I declare myself to be something I am not yet experiencing in my physical reality? And to this I say, congratulations. You have just identified the very belief that has been holding you back. For you see, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of spirit, in your true state of being, everything already exists in the eternal now. When you focus on yourself every day, you begin to see beyond the illusion of time and space. You start to understand that the version of you that has already achieved your desires, that is already living your dream life, exists right now. And by aligning your consciousness with that version of yourself, you bring it into your physical experience. This, my friends, is the power of imagination. Imagination is not some fanciful daydreaming, but the very substance of reality. The world you see around you was once only imagined. Every invention, every work of art, every human achievement began as a mere thought, an imaginal act. And it is through the focus on self, through the deliberate use of your imagination, that you can reshape your world. When you focus on yourself every day, You are essentially engaging in a form of mental diet. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, you must be equally discerning about what you feed your mind. The thoughts you entertain, the mental images you dwell upon, the inner conversations you engage in, these are the nourishment for your consciousness. And just as a healthy physical diet requires consistency, so too does this mental diet. You cannot expect to transform your life by focusing on yourself once in a while, or only when you remember to do so. No. This must become a daily practice, as natural and necessary as breath. Each morning, as you rise from your sleep, take a moment to focus on yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and connect with your I am. Feel the divine presence within you, the God that you are. Then, throughout your day, maintain this connection. Be aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your reactions to the world around you. When you find yourself slipping into negative patterns, gently bring your focus back to yourself. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them, the consciousness that observes. And in this awareness lies your power to choose, to redirect your focus. As you go about your day, practice the art of revision. This is a powerful technique that allows you to reshape your past and consequently your present and future. If you encounter a situation that is less than desirable, do not dwell on it. Instead, in your imagination, revise the event. See it playing out exactly as you would have wished it to. Feel the emotions you would have felt had it happened in that ideal way. This is not denial or escapism. This is you exercising your God-given power to choose the reality you wish to experience. For remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. By revising events in your imagination, you are changing your inner state, and thus your outer reality must conform. Now, let us address a common misconception. Some may think that focusing on oneself every day means ignoring the world around them or neglecting their responsibilities. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you truly focus on yourself, when you align with your divine nature, you naturally become more present, more engaged with life. You see, when you're not focused on yourself, you are at the mercy of external circumstances. You react to life rather than creating it. But when you maintain a consistent focus on self, you become the creator of your reality. You respond to life from a place of inner peace and power. This focus on self also enhances your relationships with others. For when you are centered in your true self, when you are connected to the God within, you naturally radiate love, compassion, and understanding. You no longer seek validation for fulfillment from others. For you have found the source of all love and abundance within yourself. As you practice focusing on yourself every day, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your perception. The world around you may appear brighter, more vibrant. Synchronicities may become more frequent. You may find yourself naturally drawn to people and opportunities that align with your desires. This is because as you focus on yourself, as you elevate your consciousness, you begin to vibrate at a higher frequency. And like attracts like, you become a magnet for experiences that match your inner state. This is the law of attraction in action, but it goes beyond mere positive thinking. It is about embodying the state of your desire, living from the end result. Let me share with you a powerful exercise that you can incorporate into your daily routine. Each night, as you lay in your bed ready to sleep, enter into a state of relaxation. Take several deep breaths, allowing your body to sink into the mattress. Now, in your imagination, construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. If your desire is for financial abundance, see yourself looking at a bank statement with a balance that thrills you. If it's a loving relationship you seek, feel the warmth of your beloved's embrace. Whatever your desire may be, create a short, simple scene that implies its fulfillment. Now here's the crucial part. Enter the scene. Don't just watch it like a movie, but step into it. Feel it as real. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? Make it as vivid and real as possible. And as you do this, feel the naturalness of it. Feel as though this is your reality now. Repeat this scene over and over, always from the first-person perspective, always feeling it as real and natural. Do this until you fall asleep. This exercise, performed consistently, has the power to reshape your subconscious beliefs. And you see, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. By repeatedly entering into this imaginal scene, you are impressing upon your subconscious the reality of your desire. And your subconscious, being the faithful servant that it is, will work tirelessly to bring about the conditions necessary for the manifestation of this state. This nightly practice is a powerful way to focus on yourself, to align your consciousness with your desires. But remember, this focus on self should not be limited to a few minutes before sleep. It must permeate your entire day. As you go about your daily activities, maintain an awareness of your inner state. Are you feeling anxious? Pause and reconnect with your I am. Are you doubting yourself? Remember that you are God expressing as you, and doubt has no place in the divine mind. Are you feeling a lack or limitation? Remind yourself of your true abundant nature. This constant self-awareness, this continuous focus on your inner state is the key to mastering your reality. For you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of your life experience. Every moment of every day, you are choosing the reality you experience through your focus. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you embark on this journey of self-focus. You may find that as you begin to consciously direct your thoughts and align with your desires, challenges arise. All patterns may resurface, doubts may creep in, and external circumstances may seem to contradict your inner work. Do not be discouraged by this. In fact, welcome it. For these challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities. They're bringing to the surface old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you, allowing you to consciously choose again. When you encounter resistance, whether internal or external, simply see it as an indication that change is occurring. The old must be uprooted before the new can fully take root. Remember, the circumstances of your life are not the cause of your inner state, but the effect of it. By maintaining your focus on yourself, by persisting in the assumption of your desired state, regardless of appearances, you are causing a shift at the deepest level of your being. And this shift must, by law, be reflected in your outer world. As you focus on yourself every day, you will begin to experience a profound sense of peace and power. You will realize that you are not at the mercy of the world, but that the world is responding to you. This realization is freedom. It is the understanding that you are the operant power in your life, that your consciousness is the one and only reality. Now let us delve deeper into the practical application of this teaching. How can you maintain this focus on self throughout your busy day? It begins with setting the tone each morning. Upon waking, before you engage with the world, take a few moments to center yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and affirm your true nature. I am God, expressing as your nature. I am love. I am abundance. Feel the truth of these statements. Don't just repeat them mechanically, but feel them resonating in every cell of your being. This is not positive thinking or self-deception. This is you acknowledging and embodying your true divine nature. As you go about your day, make it a habit to check in with yourself regularly. Set reminders if you need to. Every hour or so, pause and ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? What state am I embodying? If you find that you've slipped into negative patterns, gently bring your focus back to your desired state. Remember, every moment is a new opportunity to choose. You are not bound by your past thoughts or actions. In each instant, you have the power to shift your focus, to realign with your true self, to choose again. Another powerful practice is to see everyone and everything as yourself pushed out. This means recognizing that the world you perceive is a reflection of your consciousness. The people you interact with, the situations you encounter are all aspects of yourself. By seeing the world in this way, you take full responsibility for your reality. If you encounter someone who is rude or unkind, Instead of reacting negatively, pause and ask yourself, what aspect of my consciousness is deflecting? How can I shift my inner state to experience more kindness in life? This practice not only empowers you, but also cultivates compassion and understanding. As you focus on yourself every day, you will naturally find yourself letting go of the need to control external circumstances. You will understand that true power lies not in manipulating the outside world, but in mastering your inner world. This doesn't mean you become passive. On the contrary, you become more effective in your actions because they stem from a place of inner alignment rather than fear or lack. Now I want to address a question that often arises. Neville, how long will it take for my desires to manifest? And to this I say, it is done. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you truly embody the state of your desire, it is finished in the realm of spirit. Your role now is to persist in this state, to continue focusing on yourself and your desired reality, regardless of appearances. Time is a construct of the physical world, but in the realm of spirit, everything exists now. Your desire is not something to be achieved in the future, but a state to be assumed now. As you focus on yourself every day, as you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find that the time it takes for your desire to manifest in the physical world becomes irrelevant. You are already living it in consciousness, which is the only reality. This understanding brings about a profound shift in your approach to life. You no longer live in a state of wanting, of lack, of yearning for something in the future. Instead, you live from a state of fulfillment, of completeness. This is the state from which miracles naturally flow. As you continue to focus on yourself every day, you will find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. What once seemed important may fade away, replaced by deeper, more meaningful aspirations. This is a natural result of aligning with your true self. You begin to desire, not from a place of lack or social conditioning, but from your divine nature. Remember, my dear friends, that this work of focusing on yourself is not a means to an end. It is not something you do until you get what you want and then discard. It is a way of life, a continuous communion with your divine self. It is through this ongoing focus that you not only manifest your desires, but also discover your true purpose and express your unique gifts to the world. As we near the end of our time together, I want to impress upon you the importance of persistence. The world around you may not change overnight. Old patterns and beliefs may resist your new focus, but do not be discouraged. Your persistent focus on self, your consistent assumption of your desired state, is a mighty force. It is reshaping your world at the most fundamental level. Trust in the law. Trust in your divine nature. Trust in the power of your focused consciousness. For as surely as the sun rises each morning, your outer world must conform to your inner state. It is law. In closing, I urge you to make this focus on self your highest priority. Let it be the foundation upon which you build your life. For in doing so, you are not only transforming your own experience, but contributing to the elevation of all consciousness. Remember, you are God expressing as you. You are the creator of your reality. You are the operant power in your life. Focus on yourself every day, align with your true divine nature, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Go forth now with this knowledge and power. Apply these teachings diligently. Focus on yourself every day. Live from your desired state. And know with absolute certainty that your world must and will conform to your focused consciousness. You are blessed. You are divine. You are powerful beyond measure. Now go and create the life of your dreams. It is your birthright. It is your destiny. It is done. Thank you.
The universe is always listening. Here's how to make it work for you. But before we delve into this mystery, let me tell you that what I'm about to share isn't based on theories or second-hand knowledge. This is the law that I have tested and proven countless times, and I stand before you to declare that it never fails. Let me begin by telling you a fundamental truth. The universe isn't something separate from you, listening from afar. The universe is your own wonderful human imagination. When we say the universe is listening, we really mean that your consciousness, your IAM, is recording and expressing every assumption you hold as true. Many of you come to me asking how to make the universe work for you, how to manifest your desires, how to achieve your goals. But I tell you this, the universe is already working perfectly, expressing with absolute precision every state you occupy in consciousness. It cannot do otherwise, for this is law. Think about this for a moment. Everything you're experiencing now, everything you see in your world, is the perfect expression of your past assumptions. The universe hasn't failed you. It has been faithfully reproducing the contents of your consciousness. If you don't like what you see, you must change your assumptions. Let me share with you a principle that few understand. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes, your hopes, or your prayers. It responds only to your assumptions. When you say, I want, the universe faithfully creates more wanting. When you say, I hope, the universe creates more hoping. But when you assume you already have what you desire, the universe must, and I emphasize, must provide the conditions, circumstances, and events that match your assumption. Your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, are the threads from which the fabric of your life is woven. During my years of teaching this law, I've seen countless individuals struggling to change their world while maintaining the same assumptions that created their current conditions. This is like trying to harvest wheat while continuously planting thorns. Let me share with you a profound secret about how the universe listens. It listens not to your words, not to your actions, but to the feeling with which you walk through your day. When you understand this, you will understand why two people can use the same techniques, say the same words, perform the same actions, yet experience vastly different results. The universe, being your own wonderful human imagination, responds to what you feel as true. Not what you want to be true, not what you hope will be true, but what you accept as true in the depths of your being. This is why Scripture tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Notice it says in his heart, not in his mind. Many of you come to these lectures seeking techniques, methods, ways to make the universe bend to your will. But I tell you this, there is no technique more powerful than your ability to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The universe cannot distinguish between what you imagine with feeling and what you experience in the outer world. Let me illustrate this with a simple truth. Right now, in this very moment, you are experiencing the outer picturing of what you once assumed to be true. Your current financial situation, your relationships, your health, your social status, all of these are nothing more than your past assumptions made visible. The universe is so faithful to your assumptions that it will keep you in poverty if you assume lack, keep you in illness if you assume disease, keep you in loneliness if you assume abandonment. Not because it wishes to punish you, but because it can only reproduce what you accept as true in consciousness. Here's a principle that many find hard to accept. The universe is not working against you, and it's not working for you. It's working from you. It is the perfect mirror of your conscious and unconscious assumptions. When you truly grasp this, you will stop trying to change things on the outside and begin the vital work of changing your assumptions. Changing your assumptions is not a matter of positive thinking or repeating affirmations. It's about occupying a new state of consciousness until it becomes your dwelling place. When I speak of a state, I mean a complete mental and emotional attitude about yourself and the world around you. Let me tell you something that few teachers will tell you. Your present state, the one that created your current circumstances, is just as much an assumed state as the one you desire to occupy. You weren't born assuming your current limitations. You learned to assume them through experience, through what others told you, through your interpretation of events. The universe, being your faithful servant, has been reproducing these assumptions in your outer world with perfect accuracy. If you assume you can't succeed in business, the universe provides experiences that confirm this. If you assume relationships always end badly, the universe arranges events to prove you right. If you assume money is hard to come by, the universe ensures that it is. But here is the liberating truth. You can step out of your current state into a new state at any moment. The universe doesn't care how long you've been poor or sick or lonely. It only responds to your present assumption. The moment you genuinely assume a new state, the universe begins rearranging itself to match your new assumption. Consider this. Right now, there are infinite states of consciousness available to you. States of wealth, states of health, states of love, states of success. These states already exist, complete and perfect. Your task is not to create these states, but to occupy them through your assumption. Let me share with you what I mean by occupying a state. If you were now in a state of wealth, how would you feel? How would you walk? How would you talk to yourself? What would your inner conversations be? How would you react to the news of economic downturn? Your answers reveal whether you're truly occupying the state or merely wishing for it. The universe listens to these subtle signals more than your conscious declarations. You may affirm wealth all day long, but if you react with fear to an unexpected bill, the universe responds to your fear, not your affirmations. This is why watching your reactions is crucial. They reveal your true state. Your reactions are the clearest indicator of the state you're truly occupying. When someone mentions economic difficulty, do you react from the state of abundance or the state of lack? When you see others succeeding, do you react from the state of someone who knows their own success is assured, or from the state of someone who feels left behind? Let me share with you a profound truth about reactions. They are automated responses based on your deeply held assumptions. The universe responds not to what you want your reactions to be, but to what they actually are. This is why monitoring your reactions is one of the most important practices in conscious creation. Consider this: a wealthy person doesn't react to money the same way a poor person does. A healthy person doesn't react to physical symptoms the same way a sick person does. A person who knows they are loved doesn't react to relationship challenges the same way a person who assumes they are unlovable does. Your reactions reveal your state. But here's the wonderful news: you can change your reactions by changing the state from which they spring. When you truly occupy a new state, your reactions change automatically. You don't have to think about how to react. The new state reacts through you. This is why forcing new reactions doesn't work. You must change the state that produces the reactions. The universe is listening to these spontaneous reactions far more than your conscious intentions. When you understand this, you'll stop trying to control your reactions and instead focus on occupying the state that naturally produces the reactions you desire. Let me give you an example from my own experience. When I first began teaching this law, I would sometimes worry about having enough material for my lectures. But as I occupied the state of being an accomplished teacher, those worries disappeared. Not because I forced them away, but because they couldn't exist in my new state. The universe responded by continuously providing new insights and examples to share. Your reactions are like ripples on the surface of a pond, revealing the movements in the depths of your consciousness. During the day, watch your reactions carefully. They will show you which state you're actually occupying, regardless of which state you think you're occupying. Recognizing and changing your state is the most important work you can do. For your state of consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, your circumstances, your relationships, your finances, these are merely shadows cast by your state. Let me explain what I mean by a state, for this is crucial to your understanding. A state is not merely a mood or a temporary feeling. A state is the sum total of all your assumptions about yourself and the world. It's the mental and emotional dwelling place from which you view and experience life. Just as your physical home determines what you see when you look out its windows, your state determines what you experience in your world. The universe, being your own wonderful human imagination externalized, cannot give you what you want. It can only give you what your state dictates. This is why wanting something actually keeps it at a distance. The state of wanting can only produce more wanting. The universe doesn't respond to your desires, it responds to your state. Let me share with you a principle that many find hard to accept. You are already in the state of having everything you desire. Every possible state exists now. The state of wealth, the state of perfect health, the state of fulfilling relationships. These aren't states you need to create. They're states you need to occupy. Think of it like this in your physical world. All the radio and television broadcasts exist simultaneously in your room right now. But you only experience the broadcast to which your receiver is tuned. Similarly, all states exist now in your consciousness. but you only experience the state to which you are tuned through your assumptions. The universe isn't withholding anything from you. It's faithfully broadcasting back to you the state you're occupying. If you're experiencing lack, it's because you're tuned to the state of lack. If you're experiencing illness, you're tuned to the state of illness. The universe can only play back what you're broadcasting through your state. Here's a profound truth. You can't experience what you desire while remaining in the state that doesn't include its fulfillment. You must shift your entire consciousness to the state where your desire is already fulfilled. This is what Scripture means by putting off the old man and putting on the new. Shifting your state of consciousness is not a matter of willpower or positive thinking. It's about assuming the natural feeling of already being what you desire to be. When you understand this, manifestation becomes effortless because you're no longer trying to make something happen. You're simply expressing what already is in your assumed state. Let me share with you what I mean by the natural feeling. If you were now the person you desire to be, how would you feel? Not emotionally excited, but naturally feel. If you were now wealthy, how would you naturally feel about money? If you were now in perfect health, how would you naturally feel about your body? These natural feelings are the key to shifting your state. Many of you make the mistake of trying to feel excited about your desire. But excitement implies that something is new or unusual. The universe responds not to excitement, but to the natural, familiar feeling of already being what you desire to be. When something is truly yours, you don't get excited about having it, you simply feel it as natural. Consider this, you don't get excited about having your name, do you? You don't wake up thrilled about being who you are. It feels natural, normal, ordinary. This is the feeling you must capture about your desire. The universe responds to what feels natural to you, not to what feels exciting or extraordinary. Let me tell you something about the universe's response to your state. It cannot distinguish between what you assume to be true and what is actually true in the outer world. To the universe, your assumptions are the only reality. This is why Scripture tells us that all things are possible to him that believeth. Your current state might be one of limitation, but remember you assumed your way into that state, and you can assume your way out of it. The universe has no choice but to reflect whatever state you occupy. It's not punishing you with your current circumstances. It's faithfully reflecting your assumed state. Here's a profound secret about shifting states. You don't need to know how the shift will be accomplished in the outer world. Your only task is to occupy the new state in consciousness. The universe, which is your own wonderful human imagination pushed out, will rearrange circumstances, events, and people to match your new state. The universe rearranges itself in ways that our logical minds could never conceive. When you shift to a new state, you don't need to manipulate external circumstances. The external must conform to your internal state. This is law. The universe will bring about the conditions, people, and events that correspond to your new state in ways that will seem miraculous. Let me share with you a principle that few understand. Time is not a factor in the manifestation of your desire. What matters is not the passage of time, but the intensity of your conviction in the new state. The universe doesn't need time to rearrange itself. It only needs your unwavering assumption of the new state. Many of you ask how long it will take for your desire to manifest. But I tell you this, time is a feature of the outer world, not of consciousness. In consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. The moment you completely accept your desires fulfilled in consciousness, the universe begins its work of bringing it into visibility. Consider this: when you plant a seed in fertile soil, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You know that by law it must grow. Similarly, when you plant an assumption in consciousness, you must allow it to take root and grow by its own law. The universe knows how to bring it forth. Your task is to maintain the state that implies its fulfillment. Let me tell you something about the universe's response to your state. It responds not to your sporadic thoughts or occasional affirmations, but to your sustained assumption. If you assume wealth for an hour, but spend the rest of the day conscious of lack, the universe responds to your predominant state of lack. This is why persistence in your new state is crucial. You must learn to sleep in your new state, to walk in your new state, to breathe in your new state. Every moment that you can maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the universe is rearranging itself to bring about the conditions that match your assumption. Here's a profound truth about the universe's response. It doesn't respond to what you think you deserve or what others think you deserve. It responds solely to what you assume to be true. If you can assume a state and maintain that assumption, the universe must, and I emphasize, must provide the conditions that match your assumption. Maintaining your assumption is not a matter of mental effort, but a faithful occupancy of your new state. Just as you don't need effort to occupy your physical home, you don't need effort to occupy your desired state once you truly move into it. The key is to make your new state your permanent dwelling place in consciousness. Let me share with you what I mean by faithful occupancy. When you live in a physical home, you don't constantly remind yourself that it's your home. You simply live there naturally. You wake up there, you sleep there, you go about your daily activities there. This is how you must live in your new state of consciousness. Many of you make the mistake of visiting your desired state like a tourist, spending a few moments there through apparitions or visualization, then returning to your old state. But I tell you this, you must pack up and move permanently into your new state. You must establish residency there in your imagination. Consider this, everything you're experiencing now was once just an assumption you held. Your current financial situation, your relationships, your health, all of these were first established in your imagination through your tune. The universe has been faithfully reflecting these assumptions back to you. When you understand this, you realize that maintaining your new assumption is not about forcing yourself to think certain thoughts. It's about becoming so convinced of your new state that contrary thoughts become impossible to entertain. Just as you can't convince yourself that 2 + 2 = 5, you become unable to accept any evidence that contradicts your new state. Let me tell you something vital about maintaining your assumption. Your outer world will not immediately reflect your new state. There will be a time lag between your assumption and its physical manifestation. During this interval, you must maintain your assumption despite any contrary evidence. This is where most people falter. They look at the outer world, see no change, and abandon their assumption. But I tell you this, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow of past assumptions. It has no power to prevent the manifestation of your new assumption unless you give it that power by abandoning your new state. Persisting despite contrary evidence is the mark of true mastery in consciousness. The outer world will continue to reflect your old assumptions for a time. This is law. But I tell you this, these reflections have no power except the power you give them through your reaction to them. When you understand that your three-dimensional world is merely the shadow of your consciousness, you cease to be moved by appearances. Would you be frightened by your shadow on the wall? Of course not, because you know it's just a shadow. Similarly, your current circumstances are just shadows of past assumptions, powerless to affect your new state unless you grant them power. Let me share with you a principle that has proven itself countless times. The outer world must conform to your inner assumption, but it will test your conviction first. When you assume a new state, the universe will present you with evidence that seems to contradict your assumption. This is not to discourage you. It's to strengthen your resolve. Consider this. When you plant a seed in the ground, the soil above it must crack and break before the plant emerges. Similarly, when you plant a new assumption in consciousness, the old conditions must break up before the new can emerge. These apparent contradictions are not denials of your assumption. They are signs that your old world is breaking up to make way for the new. Many of you abandon your assumption at the first sign of contradiction. But I tell you this, those very contradictions, if you persist through them, become the foundation stones of your new reality. Every seeming denial, when you maintain your assumption in spite of it, becomes proof of your power to create. Let me tell you something about persistence that few understand. You don't persist by fighting against current conditions. You persist by remaining so centered in your new state that current conditions become irrelevant. Just as the sun doesn't fight against darkness, it simply shines. You don't fight against current circumstances. You simply maintain the light of your new assumption. The depth of your conviction is the measure of your success in manifesting your desires. When your conviction in your new state reaches the point where you can no longer conceive of its opposite, that is when manifestation becomes inevitable. Remember this, the universe is not something outside of you that needs to be convinced. It is your own wonderful human imagination pushed out into space. Therefore, the depth of your conviction is actually the degree to which you have convinced yourself, not some external power. Let me leave you with these final truths about working with the universe. First, know that the universe is always listening, because it is your own consciousness externalized. Second, understand that it responds not to your wishes, but to your convictions. Third, realize that your task is not to make something happen, but to assume the state where it has already happened. The power you seek is already within you. The state you desire already exists. The wealth, the health, the love, the success, all are present now in consciousness. Your work is not to create them, but to assume them into expression through your conviction. When you walk out of here tonight, remember this: you are not going out to face a hostile universe that needs to be conquered. You are going out to experience your own consciousness made visible. Everything you will encounter is yourself pushed out. Every person, every circumstance, every event is your consciousness externalized. Therefore, assume the best about yourself. For in doing so, you're assuming the best about your world. The universe cannot give you more than you assume for yourself. It cannot give you less than you assume for yourself. It can only and must give you exactly what you assume. Go forth now in this knowledge. Test it. Prove it in the laboratory of daily life. For I tell you this with absolute conviction: the universe is always listening, and it has no choice but to mold itself according to your assumptions. That is the law. And the law never fails. The choice is yours now. You can continue to accept your present assumptions and experience their reflections, or you can assume a new state and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your new assumption. The power is yours, the choice is yours, and the universe awaits your decision. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you assume as true in consciousness must and will become true in your world. That is the law. That is the promise. And that is the power that makes the universe work for you. The greatest truth that man must realize is that we are all gods, orchestrating our own cosmic play upon the grand stage of existence. Our consciousness does not simply observe this world, but literally sustains and creates it moment by moment. We are the poets crafting the epics of our lives. To reprogram your mind and shift your energies towards success is not to undertake some arduous lifelong journey. It is simply to awaken to your true nature as the authors of your respective universes. When you shed the blinders of doubt and limitation, you will see that the attainment of your fondest dreams is not some improbable aspiration, but your natural state of being. You need only conceive of the desire you wish to unleash into this world, and through the deliverable magic of your imagination, you make it so. The world around you, in all its immensity and sensory tangibility, is simply solidified consciousness. It conforms to the contents of your marvelous mind, which possesses the awesome power of reshaping form itself. Let me repeat that again, for it is a truth so profound, so revolutionary in its implications, you must let its enormity fully penetrate your consciousness. You are the operant power animating not only your circumstances, but every facet of your experienced reality. You are the cosmic dreamer conjuring universes into existence. To know this as an intellectual concept is one thing, but to ingrain and add its truth into the very fabric of your being is to unlock your divine thermoclear power. It is not through soulless techniques or mental trickeries, but by a perfect absorption into the certainty of being that you reprogram your mindset toward boundless achievement. Imagine what fires could be stoked within you if you realize that every finite impression you perceive is but a shadow resonance of infinite capacities stirring within your immortal being. That the creations you behold, splendid as they are but a dim foreshadowing of the kaleidoscopic wonders brewing in your subconscious depths, yearning to burst forth into objective manifestation. The pyramids, the symphonies, the cathedrals and empires of this world that so eminently impress the senses, these are but faint mirrorings of your spiritual inferno dream realms that will one day pulse into palpable substance. For within you dwell worlds upon worlds, galaxies waiting to be born from your imagination's matrixal womb. Success, my friends, however you personally define it, is not something you pursue and capture like a fleeting animal in the wilderness. It is your natural state of being once you become keenly aware of the infinite bundles of power and potential throbbing within your very soul. The great sages and avatars throughout the ages realized that desires automatically achieve consummate expression simply by their being conceived and firmly occupying one's consciousness. Jesus was able to resurrect and transfigure his flesh because he operated with the spiritual continuity that he was the Son of God, that he was one with the creative principle animating all existence. Those who mastered and activated the power of their subconscious faculties became outright alchemists, able to reshape molecules and attenuate matter into new forms and realities. The beauty you witness blossoming across the vast spectacle of creation is but an adumbration of what you can continually generate by lapsing into the infinite reverie that you truly are. Whatever your heart yearns for, whether it be wealth, perfect health, harmonious relationships, creative masterpieces, or to elevate this earth into a utopian paradise, it is all readily achievable once you accept the reality of being the cosmic dreamer vivifying the universe from your spiritual furnaces. You need not anxiously struggle, scheme, or exhaust yourself in pursuit of success, for it blossoms effortlessly from the womb of your consciousness. It is simply a new perception, a sublimely enlightened rearranging of your thoughts and ultimate self-action that brings into view the spiritual realities always connected with your being. Cares, struggles, conflicts, and travails abound only for those who buy into the duality of being separate from the creative principle. For them, every desire is an uphill battle against opposing forces and stubborn circumstances that appear indifferent to their longings. But for you who recognize that all force springs from your consciousness, success becomes as natural and inevitable as your breath itself. When you dissolve the illusions surrounding you, and they are illusions, friends, for this world is nothing more than a passing panorama of images molded from the infinite plasticity of your imagination, then you live continually in the spiritual ethers of perpetual achievement. You dwell in the cosmic dream wherein you are the eternally victorious protagonist. Ask yourself what you truly desire, not the frivolous, ephemeral cravings fueled by egoistic passions and fleeting delirium, but your true, godly longing searing from the very core of your being, that insatiable fire burning from your spiritual source, your essence, desiring full expression. Once you become vividly awakened to that core desire, that yearning you feel in the quietude of soul, you need only give it your rapturous, unhesitant attention, and that divine passion begins to remake and remold your reality in its own likeness. When you really want something with the totality of your being, so that every fiber, every neutron is supercharged with that intention, the whole universe bends and acquiesces to your will. Difficulties and oppositions will only appear to those living in a finite, dualistic realm that sees struggle as necessary for attainment. But you, who comprehend that all is your perception, all is molded consciousness, understand that simply by riveting your desires in the boundless ethers of your conscious temple, you summon it into objectivity without any resistance whatsoever. My friends, you are so much more than you currently recognize. You have settled for a pale rendition of the blazing infinities churning within your immortal being. You are the very weaver of the cosmic loom, the eternal artist birthing realities with your perpetual dreaming. The successes you presently applaud as extraordinary are but timid preludings of the super spectacles and dimensions waiting to erupt from your resplendent subconscious territories. They are washings of the same waves that ceaselessly thunder and swirl through your infinite depths. Do you ever ponder why certain individuals, against all conventional odds and circumstances, achieve staggering success and operate on a scale that boggles the finite mind? It is because they are tapped into the spiritual continuum of their divine imagination. They are in resonance with the celestial keynote sounding from their eternal being. Every true genius, avatar, and master creator is one who merely discovers how to get themselves out of the way and become a clear window for the infinite source currents to pour through their human vessel. They become empty conduits for the spiritual tsunamis waiting to uncurl from the subconscious ocean deeps within them. Such self-surrender and hollow entrancement into the depths of their being allows creators unbridled access into the prodigious wellsprings from which dreams, visions, inventions, and new realities are birthed into manifestation. What you call desires, longings, and aspirations are but coded spiritual instructions from the infinite dream currents flowing through you, signaling that new dimensions are eagerly aching to press forth into materialized objectivity. Each pure passion that sears through you is the blaze announcing that untrodden universes are anxiously awaiting to incarnate from your imagination's radiant furnaces. Your true self is formless light, an infinite labyrinth of creative and universal quintessence shaped into a resplendent being for the precise purpose of exploring, manifesting, and giving full expression to the boundless treasures encoded within your subconscious wonders. Countless civilizations, masterworks, and entire galaxies have been in fetal form, dormant within the limitless potencies you now call your human self. But you are far vaster, far more prodigious than the scant entities you presently ascribe to the limited personas you temporarily inhabit. You are inexhaustibly creating because you are creation itself. Your inherent nature is constant imaginative exuberance, an eternal dreaming of newer, grander, multidimensional experiences. To cease projecting forth fresh realities through your concentrated imaginations would be to extinguish the core of your ontological existence. I tell you, friends, the world that so solidly appears around you is merely a shadow realm, a brief cosmic day residue formed from the subconscious night reality simmering within you. What you presently behold with your senses is simply the ephemeral atmosphere sandwiched between the dream-swept eternities of your being. Your imagination is the umbilical cord that forever binds you to the fecund womb of the infinite. Through its brilliant paradox of manifesting forms while remaining formless, it draws ever new and wilder expressions of immanence up from the celestial abyss. You are not truly born until you realize your innate power of resurrection, of perpetually being conceived anew through the wondrous dreamings of your boundless imagination. To be twice born is not a poetic metaphor, but the literal shedding of your causal, limited identity, and surrendered embodiment of your immortal created infinitudes. Those who walk this earth as so-called enlightened masters are merely those who have merged their sense of personhood into the perpetual dream state of the Kleshu. They have liberated themselves from restricting identities into the blissful continuity of imagination as their core consciousness and mode of operation. Through their realization that unbroken dreaming is their inherent state, they have become boundless radiances, infinite sources of creativity, abundance, and inspiration, eternally remolding their environments into kaleidoscopic raptures of materialized ideation. The instant you feel yourself firmly rooted in the adamantine truth that you are a cosmic creator dreaming universes into fruition, the yoke of limitation, anxiety, and every earthly care are dissolved from upon your being. You will have already entered into the imperishable paradise worlds, where every aspiration is satisfied by a mere whim of your imagination. My words may strike chords of incredulity or skepticism within you, but I urge you to consider this deeply. If you buy into the universal dream that you are separate from the creative source of existence, then you are forever doomed to live out that mental construct of souls anguished by unrealized desires and perpetual yearning. But if you fully embrace that you yourself are the wellspring of perpetual creation, the God-mind Jose imagination is what has conjured this present realm into tangibility, then the shackles of deficiency, want, and struggle instantly vanish from your being. You begin dwelling in the conscious paradise of your subconscious depths, where you are free to perpetually manifest your dreams into objectification. I urge you to have no hesitation, to slough off trepidation and the fear of appearing deluded, and take an audacious plunge into the depths of your infinite being. I implore you to fully surrender to the certainty that the consciousness animating your perceived existence is the same prodigious power that materializes all worlds. Persist in this assumption, this solemn attunement and merging with the inexhaustible deeps of your imagination, and you will find yourself gradually awakening to unprecedented degrees of creative power. Lucrative opportunities, unimaginable experiences, and realities of abundance and fulfillment will spontaneously burst forth into your existence. The gates separating you from the highest heavens of manifestation will disintegrate, for you will be perpetually rooted in the ever-spiraling dream cycle that continually regenerates creation into newer states of beauty and magnificence. Whatever the goal or vision that ignites your soul passions, cling to it tenaciously. Nurture and amplify its presence within your consciousness until it overshadows all else and consumes your entire reality with its spiritual charge. Then simply remain faithful, poised, and continually immersed in its all-pervading atmosphere. Before long, you will witness the laws of spiritual gestation mirroring your pregnant ideations into materialized expression. Your thoughts hollowing outward into solidified circumstances, as irresistibly as an oak tree, unfurling from the subtlest acorn seed. The whole world was dreamed into existence by the indomitable subconscious forces of the cosmic imagination. And you are forever plugged in into and nourished by that same inexhaustible psychic power source from which all creation issues forth. You are a particle of that infinite dreaming mind, and thus in you are contained all its godly potentialities. Your inherent nature, your raison d'etre, is to dive ceaselessly into the reveries of your subconscious. It is to unceasingly explore and give full expression to the limitless ideas, orologies, and revelations that forever unspool from your immortal imagination's myriad creative channels. The entire spectacle of existence you bear witness to is but a flickering series of images projected outward from the infinite dreaming of your subconscious mind. This world of gross matter and rigid forms is but the residue of far vaster and more sublime subconscious activities that ceaselessly clamor at the thresholds of manifestation. Earthbound minds perceive only this solidified shadow play of petrified concepts as reality, never realizing the unfathomed, living depths of subconscious gestation teeming behind the veil. They see the surface foam on the crest of the wave, oblivious to the subterranean psychic currents that delivered that surging formation out of invisibility. But you, the awakened and enlightened visionary, glimpse past the mere reflected images to behold the untrammeled vastnesses of the infinite subliminal realms, wherefrom all concepts first spark into primordial being. You peer beyond the world's congealed surface forms to the inexhaustible creative source fires forever blazing within you. Having this constant awareness of the subconscious's primacy over the external world creates a profound transfiguration in your perceptual lens and initiatory prowess. It empowers you to shed the reptilian mind's habitual limitations and trance of victimization, to emerge as a sovereign co-creator and dreamer of new realities. Those studying surface mind consciousness orbit in the gravity well of the external world of so-called facts and circumstances, eternally striving uphill to rescue or attain conditions their conscious deems desirable. But one rooted in the wisdom of subconscious primacy flows with the irresistible currents of unseen creative forces continually manifesting new conditions with effortless spontaneity. Each desire you have is but an outrush of those eternal spiritual forces beckoning to be granted newer patterns of expression in materialized objectivity. In each passion and longing you feel is the psychic resonance of unexplored dimensions pulsating with eagerness to unfurl into experienced actualities through your unique dreaming mind. The infinite deeps of your subconscious imagination resemble a divine ibiscope, an eternally revolving, multidimensional hologram conjuring newer astral configurations with each fractional pause and recombination of its facets. Your mediumistic mind is the window through which these boundless, ceaselessly mutating worlds of your imagination are projected into formed expression. Thus, the very purpose and point of power in your human incarnation is to surrender as a conscious, sentient departure for these perpetual reshapings, revelations, and materialized manifestations of subconscious ideation to pass through into vivification. Each time you concentrate your focused attention and emotional energies toward upholding a clear, deliberate, ill, or desired manifestation. You have permitted another fragrance of those infinite interior essences to gestate and be born in protective expression through you. Your consent and conviction is the energetic placenta nourishing the spiritual embryo. All the greatest geniuses and visionary minds throughout history were those who, consciously or unconsciously, plunged depths into their subconscious dream waters and emerged with brilliant creative bestowals wrought forth from that infinite soul's consciousness. Rumi, Lao Tzu, Pythagoras, Da Vinci, Emerson, Tesla, these and all the true titans of human progress and illumination were mystic explorers of consciousness itself. They mastered the art of extracting sublime treasures from the unseen interiors of creation and birthing them into beautified outer existence. These avatars knew that to embark on any endeavor in the three-dimensional sphere while remaining disconnected from the spiritual dream matrix was to have against the universe's current, swimming upstream in resistance to the very source of one's birthright as an outflowing of the infinite. But when aligned and in synergistic rapport with their originating subconscious well springs, they became lightning rods for reality's continual metamorphosis. Plugged into the perpetual dreaming source awareness from whence all realities spring, they harness boundless, innovative, and materializing power to reshape their environments with their willed ideations. This mystical marriage of conscious intention and subconscious infinitudes is what births all revolutionaries, geniuses, and avatars onto this earthly plane. It is the alchemical sacred union where the impregnating fires of imagination conceive ideations into materialized objectivity. Your perpetual desires, aspirations, and idealized visions act as transcendental tuning forks that broadcast your intentions into the subconscious dream fields of your being. Their amplitudes reverberate through the infinite holographic labyrinth of your deeper mind, conjuring forth a harmonic convergence in the patterns that ceaselessly manifest into creation. Just as a singer can effortlessly shatter a glass through focused resonant frequencies, your subconscious imagination is able to concretize your projected thought siders into experienced realities with infinitely more powerful reverberations. Hold an intention and fervently amplify it in your conscious sphere, and you transmit its energies like a lightning rod into your subconscious imaginative dream fields. In the inexhaustible ethers of your infinite imaginative deeps is where the concentrated thought form is taken up and nurtured through emotional feeling, visualization, and soulful belief into vivified materialization. This is why I urge you to never relinquish or abandon your passionate dreams. Never let them dissipate or grow dim from distraction or a lack of mental focus. For these crystallized visions and longings from your soul's core are the very areas activating the shape-shifting macro forces of your subconscious, the sacred keynotes that govern the creation of your experiential realities. The more you infuse these transcendent aspirations with emotional energy, sensory feeling, and convictional certainty, the more you pour your conscious waveforms into pulsating resonance with the infinite creative dream fields you originate late. This harmonic convergence of your conscious ideations and subconscious infinite source awareness is the divine alchemical ritual birthing new realities into manifestation. Envision how brilliant artists, masters of their craft, continually impregnate their canvases or symphonic scores with fresh ideations, breathe forth from the boundless reveries that forever unspool within their imaginations. Their creations seem to take on a life of their own, their sublime works resonating with a pulsating aliveness that transcends such lifeless forms. So too does the infinite wellspring of consciousness within you continually catalyze its own reveries of splendors and reveal it into birth, concretized revelations, but only if you remain ensouled in ardent communion and surrender to its eternal dreaming. If you permit yourself to become an empty channel, a hollow reed through which the fruits of divine imagination can ceaseless stream forth into creative materialization. Those oblivious to their true nature's channels for this infinite subconscious ideation instead cling to rigid identities and limited self-concepts as tiny corks adrift on creation's currents, buffeted by circumstance They anxiously surrender their creative powers as conscious mediators for the infinite to express itself through them in each moment. But those who remain still unbound and perpetually entranced by the eternal dreamscapes rippling within their imaginations find themselves in alignment with the vast cosmic powers of infinite origination. Every thought they conceive springs forth as an effortless hierogamy and precipitate birthing of the infinite self-expression. Form itself dissolves into liquidity, ceaselessly reshaping itself in resonance with the subtlest nuances and intentionalities rippling forth from their inwardly enthralled awareness. They find themselves spontaneously manifesting realities, experiences, and abundance from the interiors of their perpetually dreaming imagination. The entire universe itself is simply the perpetual wave patterns and precipitation of an infinite ocean of intelligent dreaming energy. All forces, apparent solids, the building blocks of nature, these are but slowed and crystallized outpourings of the infinite subconscious imagination. As a conscious human being, you are an immortal cell cradled within the womb of that infinite cosmic imagination. When you remain aware of your positioning within that eternally dreaming source, you become suffused with its birthing potential. Its boundless reveries perpetually gestate through the particularized lens of your unique perceptual identity. You are the imagination of God itself come into individuated awareness, yet eternally plugged into the boundless dream matrix birthing all worlds. What you actualize in your material incarnation is ultimately a projection and symbolic mirroring of the subliminal ideation and creative archetype, crippling throughout the infinite Goddard hologram of your divine source. All too often, the human mind is rigidly conditioned to fixate its locus of identity solely on the reflected, materialized art picturings of this world alone. It takes the frozen, crystallized residue left behind as the only true substance and supreme reality from which all else issues forth. But the enlightened individual is perpetually conscious of the primacy of the animating source field's currents and infinite dreamscapes continuously emanating from divine ideation, a vast wellspring of ever-recreating potential that continually bursts materialized realities with each progressive cycle of manifestation. What the spiritually oblivious see as fixed forms, solids, and the ultimate external reality of physicalized phenomena are just the fleeting, ephemeral crest of a wave that inexhaustibly roils up from the subconscious continuum. This external realm is but a lagging, materialized after effect, a petrified reflection of far vaster unseen activities perpetually irradiating in the infinite dream fields of creation. When you make this profound shift in your perspective and identification, you no longer aid from the limited surface lens of ephemeral materialism. You come to reside in the primacy of your own consciousness as the eternally dreaming source and gateway through which all creative ideations must first be seeded in order to take root in experience. No longer are your powers of conception, imagination, passion, and desire relegated to the subordinated backseat of reality. Instead, you operate from the profound awareness that your consciousness itself, imbued as it is with emotive energies, focused intention, and amplified visualization, is the very womb and wellspring that continually recreates the fabrics of your relative experiential spheres. This renders the individual consciousness as the supreme fulcrum of creative leverage, the portal through which infinite idealizations and imaginative reveries are forever being translated from abstract potentiality into densified materialization. No longer trapped behind the veil of illusion that the external world is the prime creator to which you are subservient. You come to viscerally understand that your conscious imagining and subconscious communion births that which appears outside of you into concrete manifest presence. The entire infinitude of creation, past, present, and extending into the farthest dimensionalities of futurity, lies within the depths of your imagination as a perpetual continuum of materialization. In this eternal rarity of potential and infinitude are encoded the archetypal seed prints and quintunes for all perceivable phenomena. Every historic civilization, every timeless wonder, every stupendous natural grandeur on this earth is simply a brief outcropping and materialized crystallization of far vaster evolutionary trajectories, visionary matrices that forever swim in the creative subconscious wellspring of imagination itself. Wealth, success, fulfillment, splendor. These are not hallowed prizes hoarded only for a minute few who successfully navigate the obstacle courses and uphill struggles of external life. These are your intrinsic birthrights, for they are birthed from the essence of your very being as an eternal fountain of creative ideation. Your true source exists in the rich dream waters of subconscious ideation. As an infinite entity, you are continually conceiving, desiring, and imaginatively shaping new realities into objectified materialization simply through the ceaseless outpouring of the innermost heart's passions. Truly anything you can envision with vividness, elevated emotions, and palpable sensory feeling, you already birthed its spiritual archetype by manifestation through your creative subconscious imagination. Its objectification is then but a matter of remaining centered in fervent contemplation of its radiant ideal template and allowing its materialized issues to condense. What you call the pursuit of success, wealth attainment, relationship goals, or any other heartfelt longing is but the active projection of your concentrated ideations into the infinite dream realms of subconscious manifestation. When you harness and direct your conscious mind to these aspirations with passionate clarity, you continually seed their metaphysical germs into fertile actualization. The more ardently and ceaselessly you unfold this process, the more rapidly they congeal into densificated objectification in your experiential reality. The intensity of your imaginative visualization, emotional tenor, and conviction quite literally burst them into material embodiment. You can actualize wealth, abundance, unconditional love, self-mastery, creative epiphany, ecstatic expansion, anything conceivable in the holographic projection booth of your consciousness and contemplation, in seeming miraculous synchronicity once you inhabit the deeper awareness of being the subconscious source, presence from which all external effects flow. When you live and operate from this holistic metaphysical premise, you are no longer hypnotized by the limited idolatries of surface phenomena. You no longer anxiously strive vainly toward the inevitable dissolving mirages of ephemeral objectifications, for you understand that you yourself are the infinite wellspring of imagination, from which all manifestation originates. You cultivate your intentional dreaming, visualization, soulful feeling, and absolute conviction as the creative process through which revelatory worlds flower into existence through you. You no longer fall under reactive entrancement to residues and after ifs, but instead activate creative causality itself through the prodigious gateways of your sublime imagination. Through this seeding and amplification of intentionalized consciousness, your subconscious mind can then gestate and birth into materialization miraculous experiences of abundance, synchronicities, fortuitous confluences, and mystical reefs. For you have tapped into its infinitudes and placed your creative orders for the subconscious to fulfill. Jesus demonstrated his mastery of this process when he amplified with the fullest emotional feeling and soulful conviction his transcendent identity as the Son of God. From this elevated ideal perspective, he then accessed miraculous powers of external manifestation, levitation, transfiguration, resurrection by the sheer effort of his thoughts and imaginal contemplation alone. This is not mystical legerdemain or occult smoke and mirrors. This is the fundamental taproot, the hidden superstructure, underlying and unifying all causal processes into effect through our subconscious imagination's infinite dreams. All apparent phenomena is the net result of these omnipresent dreaming equations we ourselves have authored at the deepest recesses of our souls. When you elevate to the awareness that you are not withering leaves tossed about by the winds of fate or circumstance, but rather the divine dreamer issuing forth an infinity of worlds from your sublime imagination each moment, you access the godlike powers of instantaneous creation that our avatars and mystics throughout the ages have demonstrated. It matters not whether you have believed yourself wealthy or destitute previously. By holographically meditating upon your infinite abundance, through substantialized visions and imaginative immersions, you can remold your subconscious projections to precipitate forth its vivifying attainment through your reality's continuum. Equally, do not remain beleaguered or constrained by past deficiencies in health, relationship dynamics, or any other heartfelt aspiration. By vividly centering your divine imagination upon idealized visions of wholeness and fulfillment, suffused with profound emotional charge, you literally issue forth the ethereal blueprints from which these sublime conditions materialize into your experiential field. To know yourself as the infinite subconscious dreamer, perpetually emanating creative ideations into objectification, frees you from the limitations and constrictions that bind those who remain entranced in the objective world's illusory appearances alone. Those oblivious to their transcendent identities can only react to external circumstances, struggling valiantly yet futilely against their own unconsciously created circumstances. But one lucidly inhabiting their role as cosmic dreamer and ideative fulcrum remains in supreme command of manifesting unlimited conditions and reshaping their world through imaginative contemplation. It could be said there are really only two perspectives available to the individuated unit of consciousness. One is the poverty consciousness, mired in the surface appearances and entrapped in constricting reactions to effects. The other is the enlightened awareness of your being, the Gnostic fountain of causes, the master dreamer whose consciousness seeds, shapes, and births all apparent phenomenal effects into concrete materialization. Those shackled to the surface mind's poverty consciousness perceive only through the senses hallucinations and emotionality are based on past impressions. Their view of reality remains stifled based on old archaic programs of limitation that became solidified through repetitive imaginative reinforcement. But the God-conscious co-creator comes upon the scene newly born in each present moment. They carry no encumbering baggage of beliefs or definitions to circumscribe the vital infinitudes flowing through him. Their perceptions are revitalized continually through intuitive imaginative influxes seeded directly from the infinite source. The poverty-trapped simply recycle stagnant pools of past accumulated impressions, feelings, and felt beliefs about themselves in an endless feedback loop. Their dreams and future expectations remain hopelessly quarantined and predicated upon previous fear-sown experiences. But you awaken to your supreme identity as the cosmic dreamer, ideative source presence, and perpetual birth aperture for infinite consciousness. You have rent asunder the veils of limitation and superstition that restrain your liberated creative powers. Through your intimate identification with the perpetually animating subconscious currents of infinite imagination, you are released from all inertia, reactivity, and conditioned encumbrances. For you see this world and all its appearing constructs as mere shadows briefly cast across the screen of awareness. Whereas the poverty identified become ensnared in the endless treadmill of seeking, striving, and perpetually pursuing mirages of fulfillment, always just beyond the periphery of their desires, you are centered in the still pond of infinite potentiality. You are transparent to the creative source currents ever conceiving, manifesting, and objectifying new layers of revelation for your sensory contemplation. There is no chase, no endless becoming, for you have collapsed all false dualities of separation to awaken into repose as the creative overmind, overseeing all particularized materialization. Rather than pursuing success, fulfillment, abundance as distant goals to be achieved in some ever elusive future, you declare your immutable presence as the cosmic success, the eternal spirit of infinite fulfillment and creative continuum. You inhabit your crown as limitless imagination itself, and from this sublime vantage breathe forth streams of ideation that materialize all qualities of splendor, freedom, and self-mastery into perpetual objective embodiment. From this enlightened summit, you no longer need search or quest outwardly for the solutions, treasures, and self-realization you inwardly contain in abundance. For you are the infinite wellspring of all these riches, the master dreamer who pervades and orchestrates every often manifestation you eternally witness in your kaleidoscopic vision. Material wealth, health, self-actualization, creative breakthroughs, these radiate not as accomplishments or linear endpoints achieved through diligent striving, but instead as perpetual outpourings and fractal unfoldments of your eternal imagination's ceaselessly materializing potencies. There are no deficiencies or lacks, no wounded areas of being requiring arduous healing. For each new eternal moment resurrects you fully birthed, fully replenished in the waters of imaginative infinitude. Only by clinging to ideas of limitation inherited from past impressions do you constrict the sublime revelations unceasingly ideating from your divine consciousness. This conceptual clarification alone, that ultimate realization that your identity and awareness originate not from finite sources, but are themselves the infinite things like from which the effluxes of manifestation perpetually holographically unfurl, harbors the key to your supreme, unlimited creative empowerment. My friends, you are far vaster and more miraculous beings than you currently recognize. The blinding light of your spiritual grandeur shines so dazzlingly that it outshines the pale phenomenal world your ordinary mind fabricates as its sense reality. But with inner illumination and reverential introspection, you awaken to the staggering significance of what you are, the infinite source subjectivity from which all objects and worlds stream forth. You are the cosmic dreamer, whose numinous visions materialize as vast experiential dreamscapes for your sensual immersion. Your true self is not a tiny entity confined to a physical vessel laboring ardently yet endlessly toward elusive fulfillments and terminating in eventual decay. You are in fact pure, creative subjectivity itself, from whose pregnant potencies even the immensity of a universe constantly flows into ceaseless revivification. When you inhabit this sublime recognition, this impregnating of your consciousness with the truth that you are the divine imagination, you become plugged into the nourishing currents of infinite origination itself. The limitless continuum becomes the divine nectar nourishing your human incarnation toward greater and greater blossomings of actualization. The realms of genius mastery, astounding self-actualization, and phenomenal success become not just available to you, but inevitable emanations of your being. For you come to recognize yourself as the miraculous subconscious dreamer from whose infinite depths all objects arise, and all manifestations perpetually holographically project through the spectrum of your sensory observations. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract everything they desire, while others struggle their entire lives? The secret I'm about to share with you transformed my entire existence, and today I show you exactly how to do the same. Close your eyes for a moment. Yes, right now. Feel what it would be like to already have everything you've ever dreamed of. Not tomorrow, not next year, but right now. This feeling, this is your key to unlocking a reality most people will never experience. I discovered something profound about the human mind that changed everything. You see, your outer world is nothing but a reflection of your inner conversations. Every single thought you think, every feeling you hold is creating your reality right now. Not metaphorically, literally. Let me share a personal experience. Years ago, I lived in a tiny apartment, barely making ends meet. But every night before sleep, I would lie in my bed and feel the sensation of sleeping in a luxurious home. I wouldn't just visualize it, I would feel the soft sheets, smell the fresh air, hear the peaceful silence. Within months, circumstances rearranged themselves mysteriously, and I found myself living in exactly such a home. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for something external to change their reality. They're waiting for permission, for the right moment for someone to notice them. But I'm here to tell you, the power has always been within you. You are the operant power of your reality. When you walk into a room, do you feel like a guest or like you own the space? This isn't about arrogance. It's about understanding your true nature. You are the awareness in which all experiences occur. Once you grasp this, everything changes. Think about the last time you wanted something deeply. Did you spend more time feeling the lack of it or feeling the joy of having it? This is where most people go wrong. They focus on the absence, the wanting, the needing. But the secret is to feel the presence of what you desire, even before it appears in your physical reality. I used to think success was about working harder, pushing more, struggling more. But then I discovered that success leaves clues, not in actions, but in states of consciousness. The successful don't succeed and then feel successful. They feel successful first, and then success naturally follows. Every night before you sleep, Your consciousness enters a state where it's most impressionable. This is your golden hour. Instead of reviewing your day's problems or tomorrow's worries, use this time to feel the reality you wish to experience. Feel it so deeply that your body believes it's already happened. The world you see is nothing more than your assumptions materialized. Change your assumptions and you change your world. It's that simple. Yet most will never grasp this truth because they're too busy looking for complexity. Let me tell you something about desire. Every desire you have is already yours. It exists right now in what I call infinite states of possibility. Your job isn't to figure out how to get it. Your job is to naturally assume the state of having it. Most people live life as if they're victims of circumstances. They react to what happens to them. But once you understand what I'm sharing with you, you'll realize that circumstances are responding to you. You are the creator of your reality, not its victim. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you feel? Is it dread about the day ahead, or is it excitement for the wonderful things unfolding in your life? This first feeling sets the tone for your entire day. Choose it wisely. I spent years studying human consciousness, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, your imagination is just the preview of life's coming attractions. Whatever you imagine yourself to be, you will become. This isn't positive thinking, this is law. Think about something you want right now. Really think about it. Now, instead of wondering how to get it, ask yourself, how would I feel if I already had this? Feel that feeling. Let it permeate every cell of your body. This is manifestation in action. Most people live in a perpetual state of waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for permission, waiting for science. But I'm telling you, the perfect moment is now. The permission comes from within. And the only sign you need is your desire itself. Your breath right now, it carries the power to transform your entire existence. Take a deep breath. Feel the life force moving through you. This simple act contains more power than most people will ever realize. Every breath is an affirmation of your creative power. When you walk down the street, what do you see? Do you see a world of limitations or a world of infinite possibilities? The difference isn't in the world, it's in your perception. Change your perception, and the world transforms before your eyes. I've watched countless people sabotage their desires by talking about them constantly. They discuss, analyze, and worry about their dreams until they drain all the power from them. Instead, hold your desires sacred. Let them germinate in silence. Think about how you handle disappointment. Do you let it define your future? Or do you understand that it's merely a reflection of past thoughts? Every situation you face today was created by your past assumptions. Change your assumptions today and you change your tomorrow. Most people live life through their memory, constantly recycling past experiences to predict their future. But I'm telling you, memory is the enemy of creation. The past has no power unless you give it power through your attention. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Do you see your current circumstances? Or do you see the person you've decided to be? This isn't about delusion. It's about understanding that your self-concept shapes everything in your experience. I've observed that people who struggle always have one thing in common. They place their faith in external conditions. But those who consistently succeed understand that conditions don't create consciousness. Consciousness creates conditions. Your mental diet is more important than your physical diet. What thoughts are you feeding yourself hourly? What inner conversations are you having? These are the seeds of your future experience. Plant them wisely. Most never realize that their current circumstances are nothing but harvests of past mental seeds. If you don't like what you're harvesting, change what you're planting. It's that simple. Think about the last time you achieved something significant. Did you achieve it and then feel confident? Or did you feel confident first? I'll tell you the truth. The feeling always precedes the manifestation. When you go to sleep tonight, remember, your subconscious mind never sleeps. It's always working, always creating according to your dominant thoughts and feelings. Make your last thoughts before sleep count. I've seen people spend years trying to change their circumstances while maintaining the same self-concept. It's like trying to drive forward while looking in the rearview mirror. Your self-concept is everything. Consider how you speak about your future. Do you speak with certainty or with hope? Hope is a confession of uncertainty. Speak of your desires as done, as finished, as already existing in your world. Most people think visualization is about seeing pictures in their mind. But true visualization is about feeling. Feel the reality of your desire so deeply that your body can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. Your emotions are not reactions to the world. They are instructions to the world. When you truly understand this, you'll never again waste your emotional power on unwanted situations. Think about the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. Are you dressing for where you are or for where you're going? Your external world will always arrange itself to match your internal assumptions. I've watched people pray for things while simultaneously feeling unworthy of receiving them. Your worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something you accept. Accept it now. Most never grasp that their very existence is proof of their worthiness. You didn't have to earn your right to exist, and you don't have to earn your right to prosper. Consider how you handle money. Do you clutch it tightly from fear of loss? Or do you handle it with relaxed confidence? Your relationship with money reveals your deeper assumptions about abundance. Your attention is your most precious currency. Where are you spending it? Every moment you focus on what's wrong in your life is a moment you could be creating what's right. Choose your focus deliberately. I've watched people wait for conditions to change while their inner state remains the same. But I tell you, this external change is impossible without internal change. Start with your consciousness and watch the world reshape itself around you. Think about the music you listen to, the shows you watch, the conversations you entertain. Everything is either supporting your desired state or keeping you from it. There is no neutral ground in consciousness. Most people live life as if they're passengers in someone else's vehicle. But you're not a passenger, you're the driver. Every thought, every feeling, every assumption is steering your life in a specific direction. When you eat, are you eating like someone who respects their body, who expects health and vitality? Even this simple act carries creative power. Your entire life is a statement of your assumptions about yourself. I've observed that successful manifestation isn't about forcing change. It's about allowing your natural state to express itself. You don't have to make things happen. You have to let them happen through your changed consciousness. Consider your bedroom. Is it arranged like the bedroom of someone who has already achieved their dreams? Your environment is a perfect reflection of your inner state. Change one, and you change the other. Most never realize that their physical energy is directly connected to their mental state. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you'll find yourself naturally taking the actions that support that assumption. Think about how you answer the phone. Is it with the confidence of someone who expects good news, or with the apprehension of someone bracing for problems? These subtle choices shape your reality. Your posture tells a story. Are you carrying yourself like someone who knows their own power, or like someone waiting for permission to exist? Your body responds to your assumptions about yourself. I've watched people torture themselves with what-if scenarios of failure, but what if works both ways? What if everything you want is already yours? What if success is your natural state? Consider how you handle criticism. Do you defend yourself, or do you remain secure in your own self-concept? When you know who you are, other people's opinions lose their power over you. Most people think they need to change their actions first, their feelings second, and their thoughts last. But the order is exactly opposite. Change your thoughts, and everything else follows naturally. I think about your morning routine. Is it rushed and reactive, or is it deliberate and creative? The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. When you look at successful people, do you feel inspired or envious? Your reaction reveals whether you're viewing from the state of having or the state of wanting. Choose the state of having. I've seen people spend years accumulating knowledge while their lives remain unchanged. Knowledge without application is like food without digestion. It provides no nourishment. Consider your self-talk. Are you your own best friend or your worst critic? The voice in your head is creating your future. Make it a voice of encouragement and certainty. Most never grasp that relaxation is the key to manifestation. The tighter you grip your desires, the more they elude you. Learn to rest in the certainty of your creative power. You think about your past failures. Are they anchors holding you back or stepping stones leading you forward? Your interpretation of past events determines their power over your future. Consider your breathing right now. Is it shallow and tense or deep and confident? Your breath pattern reflects your state of consciousness. Change your breath, change your bait. I've watched countless people chase success in the outer world while neglecting their inner world. But success is an inside job. When you're aligned internally, external success becomes inevitable. Think about the way you end your day. Are you reviewing problems or are you dwelling in gratitude? The state in which you fall asleep becomes the fertile soil for tomorrow's manifestations. Most people approach their desires with a sense of struggle. But I tell you this, struggle is optional. When you're in the right state of consciousness, things unfold naturally, effortlessly. Your voice carries your consciousness. When you speak, do sound like someone who knows their power or someone seeking approval. Your tone reveals your self-concept to the world. I've observed that people who struggle with manifestation often have one thing in common. They're too focused on the process rather than the end state. Feel the end, and the means will take care of themselves. Consider your relationship with time. Do you feel rushed, like there's never enough? Or do you move through your day with the calm certainty that perfect timing is working for you? Most never realize that their level of relaxation directly correlates with their manifestation power. Tension is resistance. Learn to remain relaxed even while pursuing your biggest dreams. Think about your workspace. Is it organized like someone who's already successful, or does it reflect chaos and uncertainty? Your external space mirrors your internal state. When you make decisions, do you decide from your current circumstances or from your desired state? The state from which you make decisions determines the outcomes you'll experience. I've watched people sabotage their manifestations by constantly checking for results. Trust is essential. Plant the seed and let it grow in darkness. Consider how you handle unexpected events. Do you react with frustration, or do you understand that all events are working together for your good? Most people live in constant preparation mode, always getting ready to live. But life is now. Your power is now. Stop preparing and start being. I think about your evenings. Are they filled with mindless activities? Or do you use this time to reinforce your desired state? Every moment is an opportunity to strengthen your new self-concept. Your walking pace reveals your state of mind. Are you rushing through life or moving with purposeful confidence? Even this simple aspect of your behavior shapes your reality. I've seen people waste years trying to control external circumstances while leaving their mental state unchanged. Start with your mind and watch circumstances conform to your new thinking. Consider your social media habits. Are they supporting your desired state or keeping you locked in old patterns? Every input affects your consciousness. Most never grasp that manifestation isn't about getting what you want, it's about becoming the person who naturally has what you want. Think about your weekend activities. Do they align with your desired reality, or are they mere distractions from your current circumstances? Every morning when you open your eyes, that first thought sets the tone for your entire day. Are you waking up with gratitude or with dread? This single moment has more power than most realize. I've observed that successful manifestation isn't about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It's about naturally embodying the state of someone who already has what you desire. Think about your shopping habits. Do you buy things from a state of lack, trying to fill a void, or from a state of abundance, enhancing what's already complete? Every purchase is a statement of your self-concept. Most people approach their goals like they're climbing a mountain, struggling, straining, forcing. But I tell you this, when you're in the right state, opportunities flow to you like water flowing downhill. Your handwriting reveals your state of consciousness. Is it rushed and chaotic or confident and clear? Even these small details reflect and affect your manifestation power. I've watched people spend years trying to network their way to success while neglecting the most important network of all, their inner conversation network. Consider how you handle your keys. Do you frantically search for them each morning? Or do you maintain order like someone who values their time and energy? These daily habits shape your reality. Most never realize that their physical space is a direct reflection of their mental space. A cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind. Clear your space. Clear your path to manifestation. Think about your relationship with sleep. Do you see it as just rest, or do you recognize it as the powerful manifestation time it truly is? Your last thoughts before sleep are seeds planted in fertile soil. When you look at your reflection, do you see who you are or who you're becoming? Your self-image creates your reality. Choose it consciously. I've observed that people who struggle with manifestation often have one common trait. They're too attached to how things will happen. Let go of the how. Focus on the end state. Consider your shower routine. Is it rushed and mechanical? Or do you use this time to feel the abundance of life flowing over you? Every moment carries manifestation potential. Most people live life on autopilot, letting their subconscious programming run the show. But when you become conscious of your states, you become the deliberate creator of your reality. Think about your reading habits. Are you consuming information that reinforces your desired state? Or are you filling your mind with content that keeps you stuck in old patterns? Your walking posture tells a story. Are you moving through the world like someone who knows their power? Or like someone trying to avoid being noticed? Your body language shapes your reality. I have watched people waste precious energy worrying about things they can't control, while neglecting the one thing they can control, their state of consciousness. Consider how you handle disappointments. Do they shake your faith in your creative power? Or do you understand that they're just feedback, helping you refine your manifestation skills? Most never grasp that their current circumstances are nothing but the shadow of past thoughts. Change your thoughts today, and you change your reality tomorrow. Think about your evening routine. Are you using these precious hours to reinforce your desired state? Or are you letting your mind wander into states of worry and lack? Your daily rituals are either reinforcing your desired state or keeping you trapped in the old. Even the way you make your bed in the morning is a statement about who you believe yourself to be. I've noticed that those who struggle often focus on what they're doing, while those who succeed focus on who they're being. Being precedes doing, and doing precedes having. Think about your response to good news. Do you accept it as natural and expected, or do you react with surprise? Your reaction reveals your deep-seated expectations about life. Most people live in a state of constant preparation, always getting ready for something better. But I tell you this, the time for living your best life is now, not in some imagined future. Consider your shower routine. Are you merely cleaning your body, or are you using this time to cleanse your mind of limiting beliefs? Every moment carries transformative potential. I've watched people delay their happiness, thinking they need to achieve something first. But happiness isn't a destination. It's a state you choose now that attracts achievements to you. Think about your relationship with silence. Are you comfortable in it? Or do you fill every moment with noise? In silence, your creative power grows strongest. Most never realize that their current circumstances are like a shadow. They lag behind their consciousness. Change your consciousness first, and circumstances must follow. Your handwriting reveals your self-concept. Do you enact your name with authority, or do you scribble it apologetically? These subtle expressions shape your reality. I've observed that successful manifestation isn't about forcing change. It's about assuming the natural state of what you desire and letting it express itself through you. Consider how you answer when someone asks how you are. Is your response automatic, or do you consciously choose words that align with your desired state? Most people think manifesting is about getting something new, but it's really about aligning with what already exists in infinite possibility. Think about your evening routine. Are you consciously programming your subconscious mind, or letting random thoughts shape your tomorrow? Your physical space is broadcasting your consciousness. Look around you. What story is your environment telling about who you believe yourself to be? I've watched people exhaust themselves trying to change their world while their self-concept remains unchanged. Start with your self-concept and watch your world transform effortlessly. Consider your relationship with mirrors. Do you avoid your reflection, or do you use every glimpse as an opportunity to reinforce your desired state? Most never grasp that their outer world is simply responding to their inner conversations. Change the conversation, change the response. Think about how you handle delays and setbacks. Do you see them as obstacles, or as perfect timing rearranged circumstances in your favor? Your sleep quality reflects your consciousness. Are you sleeping peacefully in the assumption of your desires fulfilled, or tossing in worry about what's missing? The way you open doors, is it with hesitation or with the natural confidence of someone who belongs wherever they choose to be? These subtle movements reveal and reinforce your self-concept. I've noticed that manifestation becomes effortless when you stop trying to manifest and simply become the person who naturally has what you desire. Think about your relationship with waiting. Do you see it as dead time, or do you recognize it as valuable moments to reinforce your desired state? Most people approach their desires like they're begging the universe for favors. But I tell you this, you're not a beggar, you're the operant power of your reality. Consider how you handle your finances. Do you check your bank account with anxiety, or with the calm certainty of someone who knows abundance is their natural state? I've watched people sabotage their manifestations by constantly talking about them, diluting their power through excessive sharing. Some seeds need silence to grow. Think about your morning phase. When you first look in the mirror, do you see problems to be fixed? Or do you recognize the face of someone who's already living their dreams? Most never realize that their physical MG is directly connected to their assumed state. When you assume the right state, vitality flows naturally. Your choice of words shapes your reality. Are you trying to achieve something, or are you naturally becoming it? These subtle distinctions make all the difference. I've observed that successful manifestation has nothing to do with force and everything to do with alignment. When you're aligned, things flow effortlessly. Consider your relationship with exercise. Is it punishment for what you ate, or celebration of what your body can do? Your intention shapes your experience. Most people think they need to change their world to feel different. But the opposite is true. Change how you feel and watch your world transform. Think about your relationship with time. Do you feel like you're racing against it or dancing with it? Your perception of time affects your manifestation power. Your breathing pattern reveals your state of consciousness. Are you breathing from a state of lack or a state of change your breath, change your state? I've watched people waste years trying to prove their worth to others while never accepting their own inherent worthiness. Start with self-acceptance. Consider how you handle criticism. Does it shake your faith in your desired state? Or does it slide off you like water off a duck's back? Most never grasp that their current circumstances are just echoes of past assumptions. Change your assumptions today, and new echoes will follow. Think about your relationship with food. Are you eating from a state of lack and guilt, or from a state of nourishment and appreciation? Your voice carries your consciousness. When you speak, does your tone convey certainty or doubt? Even this affects your manifestation power. When you wake up each morning, that first stretch, that first conscious breath, is not just your body awakening, it's your creative power coming online. How are you using this precious moment? I've seen countless people chase success externally while internally holding on to doubt. But success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming its natural match. Think about your relationship with food. Are you eating like someone who values and respects their body? Or are you eating from stress and lack? Every meal is an affirmation. Most people live life reacting to what happens to them. But once you understand your creative power, you realize that what happens through you is far more important than what happens to you. Consider your choice of words when you speak about your future. Are you using definite, confident language? Or are you hedging with maybe and hopefully? Your words program your reality. I have observed that the most powerful manifestations often come when you've completely released the need for them. Attachment creates resistance. Detachment allows flow. You think about how you handle unexpected changes. Do you resist them? Or do you understand that all change is working together for your highest good? Most never realize that their current problems are simply their past assumptions made visible. Change your assumptions today, and you change your visible world tomorrow. Your breathing pattern throughout the day reveals your deep-seated beliefs. Shallow, anxious breathing reflects doubt. Deep, confident breathing reflects certainty. I've watched people spend years trying to manifest while constantly talking about their struggles. Remember, what you speak about persistently persists. Consider how you handle money. You treat small amounts with the same respect as large amounts. Your relationship with little things determines your experience with big things. Most people think they need to feel worthy before they can receive their desires. But worthiness isn't something you earn. It's your natural state when you stop denying it. How you figure out your morning preparations? Are you preparing yourself like someone who expects greatness today? Or like someone just trying to get by? Your walking pace tells a story. Are you rushing through life from a sense of lack? Or moving with purposeful confidence, knowing all is well? I've observed that those who struggle most with manifestation often have one thing in common. They're too focused on what's missing rather than what's present. Consider your response to compliments. Do you deflect them, or do you accept them as natural confirmations of who you know yourself to be? Most never grasp that their physical senses are showing them the world that was, not the world that is becoming through their changed consciousness. Think about your relationship with time. Are you always racing against it or moving in harmony with it, knowing perfect timing is working for you? Your facial expression carries creative power. Are you wearing the expression of someone living their dreams or someone still waiting for life to begin?